Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about Englishes. We're going to look at the varieties of English because we're looking at one specific type of English, academic English. And it may sound funny to say Englishes with an ES. Don't you just learn English? Isn't the English that's spoken in one place the same as the English spoken in another? Well, the answer is no. I mean, obviously, there are different dialects of a language, and it's really hard to define what a dialect is and what a language is. A famous quote is that a dialect is a language is a dialect with an army. In other words, there is no real difference linguistically between a dialect and a language. So of course we know dialects vary by country, or Englishes vary by country. People say British English, people say American English, Australian English, Kiwi English, Singlish, Singaporean English, Indian English, Nigerian English, Jamaican English. Some of those you may consider English, some of those you may consider not English, some you may consider more English than others. The fact is it's really hard to tell. And languages also vary both by socio-class, like what status you are in the society, but also by discipline. And that's the focus of what I want you to realize. That the English that you learn, which we call general English in the classroom, is not exactly the same as the English that's spoken in universities and in school settings. So there's specific terminology. Everyone knows that. If you want to be a lawyer, you have to use lawyer words. If you want to be a doctor, you use doctor words. But there's also structures and what we call discourses, or ways of structuring the language, both in writing and in speaking. So when you go through your language history, I want you to think about what varieties of English have I been exposed to, and that's what we're trying to do. Why they have a number of different questions, is to think about not how long have I lived in another country, or do I read English books. I want you to think about what type of books do you read. What level were you when you came to America, and that'll help you to figure out exactly what do I need to improve. And before we go, I want to say there's just one more thing. Like, what's the difference between academic and popular? What's the difference between academic and popular? In other words, what makes something academic? And we won't have time to get into that, but but you'll see some examples of that in the questionnaire. Thanks.